Greetings everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Today's episode is going to be fairly short, only because we're just going to finish up mopping up Area 2, and then we'll save Area 3 for the next video. So, there are a few more items to collect here before we go Metroid hunting, the first of which is down this hole. So let's go. Chozo Temple music, check. Missile door, check. We all know what that means. Item, or, well, okay. A mini-boss. This guy is Arachnus. He is one of those guys who only shows up in this game and Metroid Fusion. The only way to defeat him is to use bombs. Now, I'm doing quite terribly at him because I usually skip this guy. He is optional. The only reason I'm beating him is because he has an item, and since I'm 100%ing this, I want his item. His item, though, is not required to beat the game, but it is pretty nifty. So, the spring ball is pretty self-explanatory. You jump while in Morph Ball. That's all. Like I said, not really required. It gets you a little bit higher than a bomb jump would, but tricky people who are pretty skilled at doing a double bomb jump can get up that high anyway. But it is kind of nice and convenient, so... It's also another one of those things where Metroid 2 did it first, in that most every other Metroid game after this one, you can do the spring ball. Hello there, missile upgrade. Clinging to that left wall after those spikes allows you to get into this area here. If you didn't do it that way, you could come back, I guess, when you had the space jump, but that wastes a lot of time. Alright, so basically what we've done from the beginning of this episode on is climb up and over the top of Area 2. We ended up back on the right-hand side, so we're going to make our way back in and all the way to the left again. Except this time, we're not going to go up in that outside area. We're going to go all the way through to another vertical shaft. This is where the Metroids live. So first path we're going to take is up, because there is a Metroid up here. I know, because I could smell the gel. Although before we get to that, we want to collect another item. Hidden in this little alcove up here is another collectible. Now, this is a pretty tricky part. You don't want to bomb yourself off the wall, because basically you'll have to climb all the way back up here. This part isn't as bad as some later parts where you have to do this. And the spider ball can get pretty tricky, because when you're holding the direction that you want to go, you'll keep going no matter which direction you're going, if that makes any sense. But if you stop, you kind of have to figure out which direction you were facing to keep going. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all, but it's weird. It's like this. If you end up on a corner and you try to think, maybe if I push left I'll go, and you don't, you have to push right or something. It's just hard to explain without actually doing it yourself. I know you'd like that morph ball jump. Wall-to-wall clinging. I have excellent spider ball skills. Or so I'm told. Spider balling is a very big part of Metroid 2. In fact, you can't really complete the game without the spider ball. It's one of those incredibly necessary items. Unless you can find some way to sequence break your way to the space jump, but that's nearly impossible. Hello! Yeah, okay. This is getting a little old. Where are your big brothers? Well, I'll tell you what. Their big brothers reside in Area 2. They're just at the bottom of this vertical shaft down there, so... I promised you last time we were going to see different Metroids, and I'm going to fulfill my promise. Okay, so this area here should look awfully familiar. The game designers kinda made the Metroid hunting area of Area 2 look exactly like the Metroid hunting area of Area 1. Yay for laziness! But hello, Gamma Metroid. Alright, these guys are slightly more dangerous. They require more missiles to kill, and they have the added benefit of a weapon and better AI. This energy beam that he swings around can harm you. It also makes him invulnerable when you're shooting him, so you want to watch out for that. And his AI is slightly better in that, well, the Alpha Metroid just kind of flailed around like an idiot. This one tries to flail around in your general direction. Best strategy, of course, is a lot like the Alpha Metroid, to try and get underneath of him, because every blast you hit knocks him upward. And that'll help you out. Or if you can get him trapped back in a corner like I did that last time. That usually helps. Oh boy, sand pits. The wave beam is highly effective for clearing out sand pits. It's one of my favorite beams, of course. But now we get to fight a Gamma Metroid in a sand pit. How exciting! One thing to note about fighting Metroids in sand pits. They can move in the sand, you cannot move in the sand. So this room pretty much limits you to this tiny little fighting area. And you're most likely going to take a lot of damage from this guy. So we have a little energy recharge over here. How nifty. There are some sand pits later that you fight Metroids in that I don't even want to talk about. It's just nightmares. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have one more Metroid to take down in the sand pits. If I can get past the sand pit, jeez. One thing about the wave beam is it's not a straight line, but that's okay. We still love it. And the last Metroid is yet another of these retarded Alpha Metroids. That's okay, though. Area 3 is chock full of Gammas. We'll see plenty of them. The thing about this game is that when you progress through the Metroids, they don't exactly get... Like, when you get into later levels, you don't only see higher level Metroids. They follow you throughout the whole game. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, even in the last area, there's Alpha Metroids, there's Gamma Metroids, they're everywhere. Alright, so the earthquake triggered, which means we are almost ready to go to Area 3. We just have to backtrack our way out of Area 2, so this will be a great opportunity to check the map. So, this is Area 2, where we are. We're making our way up out of the shaft, over and all the way to the right of the area. And then we will make our way down through the newly opened acid lava pit area. Lava. We're going to call it lava because it has been decided that we are in a volcano. It's also been confirmed through my research that this is a volcano, not a bed of acid. So we're going to call that lava from now on. Anyway, we make our way over to Area 3. Which is even larger than the previous areas. And there's lots and lots of goodies to collect. I see beams, 2 beams at least, and a space jump. But we'll get to that when we get to that. The next area after this, Area 4, is incredibly short, and Area 5 is even larger. So it's not like the areas are just going to keep getting larger as we go. They're just kind of randomly shaped, I suppose? Whatever. Anyway, make our way back out of here. Alright, so back to the screen. These guys are pretty deadly when you first see them, because if you land on them, they'll bring you down into the sand pit, and you kind of have to shoot your way out. But if you have this... If you just have common sense, they're not that hard. But they're scary at first, because you're like, oh my god, I'm in the sand! Yeah, that was a terrible voice. I apologize for that one. Regardless, we're in the action music area again, which means we're in the center of the volcano. Time for another descent. This is where the lava level was previously. So we are making our way downward. Area 3 is just below us and to the right. So, how about them Metroids? Haha. Anyway. Alright guys, we're going to cut it off here because I don't want to start Area 3 till the next video, so have a great day. I'll catch you cats next time.